All right, so I wanted to do my gear plans for the future, and I decided to try I'm screen recording with QuickTime. I want to see how it works before I install OBS. But so first off, I want to get Fender pickups, and so what I want to do is I want to get the Gen 4 noiseless Telecaster pickups. They have three pickups. I I heard the Gen 4 and I really liked the way they sounded, and they sounded really good with distortion. I saw a video by what's his name, Brandon Bailey, or I can't remember, but I saw a video where those pickups sounded really good. They were noiseless, and I just liked them a lot. And I was looking at them, and Fender makes three styles of noiseless Telecaster pickups, and the first one is the vintage noiseless, and and the second one is the Gen 4, which is the ones I'm going to get, and then the new ones are the ultra noiseless vintage. And from what I could gather, I played the vintage noiseless like a long time ago, and I didn't like them. Like if you go to their page here, they don't have that little magnet thing in the middle, so it's just kind of like uh, it's kind of like the old style of noiseless pickups, kind of like the DiMarzios I have now. But these sound really compressed or slightly compressed. There's people who I heard them on YouTube and they sound good playing them, but I just didn't like them. And so and if you look down here at the, where is it at, support specs, it says, tone vintage. Funnily enough, a lot of the specs they have are different. Like they leave some in and out depending on what they're talking about. But vintage tone, right? And then when you go to the Gen 4, which now they have the little steel bar in the middle, and I think that's grounded to keep the coils grounded from each other, something like that. But these are modern sounding, and I saw a Tony McKenzie video, and he said basically they're very modern sounding pickup. They're for rock, and I'm like, that sounds great. Like, and I like the sound of them. Like, they sounded like good telly pickups. So if they're hotter and uh, more rock, and they had a nice bright sound to them. That's one thing I don't like about the DiMarzio Hot. It's a little, like, it's supposed to sound more like a PAF, so it's a little like darker sounding than a single coil. It's not bright, and also the neck pickup is really low output, so I have to have it cranked up. So I'm hoping with these, they're modern sounding and hot and rock, and uh, then they have the Ultra, which I was going to get. There's an Ola England video, and he has like an Ultra telly, and he plays, and it sounded pretty good, but it did sound very single coil like. And if you go to the specs here, as you can see, it's got a vintage output, vintage tone. So it's like, I think that's what what they're doing is like, why do they have three different uh, noiseless pickups? One's the old school style, which is like, kind of compressed a little bit, and then if you want something that's more, like their modern technology for a single coil sound, vintage sound, then the Ultras, the new Ultras that came out are that. And then the Gen 4s, which I'm after, is more of a modern rock tone, so it's kind of like the hotter. So I heard a few videos on them, and I'm like, going, I really like that. Like a lot of times when you have a hotter uh, single coil or noise canceling single coil, sometimes they just sound a little dull, and these sounded like nice and bright. So I'm planning on getting those in my guitar, and then I started thinking about the one pedal I want to replace on my pedal board is the fuzz. And I want to get a tone bender. I've been wanting a tone bender forever. So I was thinking of either getting the GHS bender pedal, which is a tone bender. I haven't heard that many like demos. The ones I have I didn't like, so I'm kind of scared. I'd want to try it out in person uh, before I got it. But the one I think I'd really like is the Park Fuzz. And the Park, this is basically like a tone bender, and it's Earthquaker Devices. And I had their Hoof Reaper pedal, and their Tone Reaper was a pretty good sounding tone bender clone. So I'm assuming this Park one is going to be just as good. And the demos I have heard of this online sounded, kind of what I wanted. So I'm thinking about going after this one. I want to see if I can try out the JHS Bender pedal in person, but there's none here. And then I don't know, if I don't find a good demo online, at least one where it kind of speaks to me. Like there's this certain like low mid type like sound that I really like out of the tone bender, and it just doesn't sound like it has that. And then finally, my final gear plan for 2022 is I'm not sure if I'm going with the or if I'm going to stay with my deluxe reverb. I think I'm leaning more toward that, but then I got rid of my Blues Junior. It just didn't sound good, so I'm going to look for like a backup combo amp, and what I was thinking was something a little bit more multi-purpose. It doesn't have to sound great, but I definitely wanted something with a master volume. The one thing I was thinking of, especially for home playing where I'm not playing with a band, and all that, is like the Fender GTX modeling app, and I've seen a ton of good reviews on it, and like it's got like a Celestion speaker in the back, which kind of doesn't mean anything, but what I do like is it's got the direct outs. And I heard a video on YouTube, I don't know if it was In the Blues, like he did a video of it, but I watched a lot of videos on this amp, and it sounded good direct. And I know when we were recording the album, we were trying to get a direct sound, and it just sounded like crap. We even tried through the Katana, and the direct sound just did not sound good. It was very compressed. So if I could get like a semi-good direct recording sound out of this, it could double up for that, as well as be my home practice amp, and like backup amp, because it's got a master volume. I just don't know how it does with pedals. Like I've seen some people say it was good with pedals, but some say it's not as good with pedals. There was one video I saw where it sounded pretty good, so I don't know. I'll have to try it out. I know it has its own foot pedal, and you could assign pedals inside, but I really, if I was using it as a backup, I'd just use it as a straight. So then I'm thinking like, well, it's kind of like I'm trying to use it as a multi-tool where, okay, I can use it for direct when, we record, and I'm using it as a home amp with a master volume, and you can plug in your headphones, which that's not bad. I mean, I never really get to that point where I need to use headphones. I could use it for direct recording here, because I was playing through the amp models, and for some reason I was having a hard time finding an amp model I liked. And then I tried miking my Zombie amp, which it's a $150 amp. Surprise, surprise. It didn't sound as good, and I record all the house in albums, so like I'm getting good tones there. It's just I think I need to have something here that's a little bit more higher quality. Now, if say I stick with the Basement Head, for the backup, what I could use is, I was looking at this. I've been interested in this company for a while, and you can get these heads for $250, $260 used on Guitar Center, and these supposedly take pedals well. They sound pretty decent on the YouTube videos I've seen, and you see a lot of good reviews online. So if I stick with the Basement, I'll probably get the Quilter head. I can stick it in my gig bag, and if I need a backup amp, it's right there in my gig bag, and it takes a standard plug that you plug in. It's not like an adapter where I don't have my 18 volt, or the wire broke, now I gotta find online, a replacement, 18 volt with a, 300 or whatever, 3 amps or whatever. I'm thinking off the top of my head, but yeah. Um, but yeah, so I think that's going to be my gear journey for 2022. Usually I kind of go from a whim to whim, but I'm like, I want to nail down like uh, what I'm going, which direction I'm going, because it's like I know there's certain little things like I love my Telecaster. It's just I haven't found a set of pickups that totally fulfill me. The closest kind of are the DiMarzios, but then it's just kind of like it's the same thing with the little 59. Like the bridge is not single coil enough, but then of course it's not because it's going for the humbucker sound, and it's just like I just wanted something a little more brighter, and then the neck is kind of a little low output, so I'm hoping, like, I haven't had a bad Fender pickup so far. I put them in all my Fender guitars, and I even, I took out the stock and then ended up buying another one and sticking it in, and I think they're all phenomenal, especially when it comes to single coils. I'm hoping the new Gen 4 is just what I've been asking for, and I can finally put my poor Telly to bed, and I can say, okay, I'm not modding you anymore. Though I could just have a mental problem, and I just can never be happy. And even after I get the new pickups, I'm just like going, well, now this or that, whatever. I don't know. And same thing with the pedal. Like I've got it narrowed down to where I'm like going, I'm kind of happy with the MXR Classic Fuzz, but it's I really want a tone bender, and I'm like, this is the time where I have a pedal where I'm kind of like whatever about, and I can replace it and get something that I like, and then I need a backup amp, and it's depending what my main amp ends up being will determine what my backup amp will be apparently. The Mustang would be nice. I heard it's light, got Bluetooth. I have a slight phobia of technology sometimes. Like I have a slight addiction to technology, but then when it comes to guitar, I have a slight phobia. Like I go like, oh man, what if it doesn't connect? And now I'm sitting there like, I've always heard great thing about Fishman Fluence pickups, but it's just like, oh, I gotta plug in a USB to charge it, and it's just like whatever. So I don't know, but this could be a good little home amp, and then if we do gig, because at the Whiskey they have backup amps there that you can use, but like if I end up playing, like I know he's looking for some of the clubs around Pasadena, if I end up there, but I think that is all for my gear journey of 2022. I hope I didn't meander too much. Oh, I forgot one thing, and this is the most uncertain of uncertain things. So I have a Strat and a Telly, and a backup Telly, I guess you'd say. When I get the Gen 4 pickups, it'll be like a hot Telly and then a regular Telly and then a Strat, but whatever. One's my main guitar. But then I'm like, oh, I need a humbucking guitar. So I'm thinking sometime this year I will get like a Les Paul copy, either an Epiphone or a cheap clone. Anyway, have a good one.